Hello, 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 hello. So we've done, let's see, we are reading for Taurus. Sorry, crazy. Gemini. We're reading for Gemini. And you'll see that I'm in a different setup. I have a guest. It says holiday season here. So I've put everybody away and make sure, please be quiet because I'm recording. So let's hope that holds, it's being live, but we never know. You never know. We'll have surprises. So what are we doing this month of May for you? Gemini, I'm going to put out a spread for the month of May that entails using the Lenormand. I'm going to, there you go, show a little bit. And I'm using a mini grand tableau. So this means using 4 rows of 4 cards. And I'll talk about different areas of your life in May, then talk about the weeks, the 4 weeks. And it's difficult because the 4 weeks, there are 31 days. And I would say the first 7 or 8 days, the second 7 or 8 days, the third 7 or 8 days. Hi, everybody. And so on. Okay. So, but I'll just say the first week. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it'll take just a second for me to hone in on what I'm looking at. So bear with me while I show while I look at these cards and study them and get a feel for what I'm looking at. Okay, now, okay, there is, then I have, okay, now, well, interesting. The first thing that I have to say to you are concerning your beginnings and endings. You remember that the full moon reading, Gemini, was all about releasing. And here you can hear my squeaky, my squeaky chair, all about releasing. And what I'm seeing here is that it's a moment when you say, and this happened in another reading for, I think it may have been Taurus, I'm not sure, but where you say, okay, May, I'm going to get into shape. I'm going to change the way I do things. I'm going to change the way I eat. I will not bring forward old bad habits. I'm changing that. My health is more important to me. So this is really high on your list. And then there are surprises, positive surprises in the month of May that have to do with physical contact that you have with other people. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to call it sex, but I'll say, physical contact with other people, being close to them, and also the amount of time that you will spend in the month of May talking, speaking with people of your choice, which is positive, that you want to talk to. Also, a definite ending, and I see here there is this is the card of the house. Now, the house may mean a house, and I'm not going to show you all of the cards, but I'll show the ones that so I can make you understand certain things. But definite endings may relate to someone in your house. Could be a metaphorical house, or could be a physical home. Okay, the sense of home. Where either they move away, or they just are no longer near you, but there has to do something there, or you just tend to want to stay away. Okay, so that's the notion of home in the month of May. Definite endings, you're thinking it's time to change, it's time to change. And then there's the area of communication, of spoken communication, and actual, spoken communication here is represented by the garden, and it does talk to me of your communication, your oral communication, spoken communication in the month of May is best done in public. When you have other people listening to you, you can have witnesses when you need them if you're having legal difficulties. But definitely, we would like to favor the oral word, the spoken word, when you are in public. And then we have the area of your livelihood, your work. And it looks like, from this stork here, it looks like that either you'll be going back to another type of activity that you used to be involved in, or take that and use it as a hobby in the month of May, or um, having how can I put it, being involved with something that is closer to your home, but that is not your main money maker, is not your main job. Then there is also the sense of security, and by far your sense of security, and this is the moon card, is represented by love. That period. That's your sense of security for the month of May, Gemini. All right, now we have an area of the spread that does talk about going back to things that we've known in the past, going back to home, going back to, and remember what you said, you were going to stay with home. There's a definite ending there, there's a decision to be made. I'm seeing this card as being your guidance card. This is a card that talks of what you can look for, where you can look for guidance. This is interesting because it mentions here, it suggests automatic writing. And for those of you who don't know what automatic writing is, Google automatic writing. It's a practice that I suggest to people who start to feel a little more psychic, where their intuition, their intuitive abilities are heightened. You might want to consider that. Then there's an area of the spread that talks about actually returning home, and this is a confirmation. These are the clouds, and this is a confirmation of the fact that there's an issue with home that will be difficult for you in the month of May. Then we have the area of the spread that has to do with public life per se. We talked about speaking in public, when you are in the public using the oral medium, but now we talk about this is the coffin, and when in the house, this is a house, the position of public life. I'm seeing this as a new beginning for you. So these two cards that talk about being in the public life, one is the public life, one is the house of the public life, tell you it's time for you to start considering the possibility, the strength that you have of communicating orally in the public for any kind of reason. Many of you may want to get in politics. Many of you may want to campaign for something. Many of you may want to help a person, or be a councilman, or be some help on somebody's campaign, political campaigning, or simply being in sales and working with the public. Next area is the concern of difficulties or obstacles. That's what I'm looking for. Obstacles, the word obstacles. I have here the stars. Now, when you see the stars, really the sky's the limit, literally. And in terms of obstacles, just brush them off. No problems for you the month of May. There are no obstacles that you can't get through, Gemini, for sure. Then we have an area of the spread that has to talk, that deals with, how can I put it? That deals with actually decision making. And we have here the fox, and the fox talks to me about work, livelihood. There will be a decision to make. And I believe that we talked about changing and getting a hobby to be heightened to the level of work for you, making money from a hobby, which is going to be high on your list in the month of May. And then we have probably the most important area for you is those areas that are hidden from you, that you say only through your intuition, only through your heightened sense of awareness can you get to them. And I have the key here, and this is indicative of me, for me, Gemini, that your intuitive skills are going to need to be honed. Remember the automatic writing. Take a look at that, because I think that might be something in time that you will be able to use And then there is the area of written communication. We did talk about oral communication and how in public it was heightened, and that is the means to use. Well, this is the ship in that house there, and it talks about using written, favoring written, the written word, written communication, forms of communication that have anything to do with you taking trips, you suggesting travel, you making plans, get it in writing. Then we have an area of the spread that talks about a male influences or a man. And, Gemini, look, it is just lovely. This is the bouquet. And the bouquet talks about surprises. This man in your life, if there is one, will surprise you. And then there is the female influence, the woman in your life. And she's represented by the bear, which talks of security. This woman in your life will be and will represent security for you. And if you don't have a male or female in your life, these speak to your male side and your female side. Now, each week in review, now, like I said, the first 7 or 8 days of May sees you talking to specialists about your health. It sees you thinking and wondering about other family members, about their health, trying to get them out of the house. And there is a little bit of friction there. And this is the reason why you tend to then put up your boundaries there, and favor, instead of being closed in, being public about your ideas and your plans. In the second 7 or 8 days, in the second week, let's say, I have a return to a place, a return to love. You returning to love. If you were not communicating with someone, it is a return to love. Love is in the air. Love is in the air that second month, that second week of May. It is so important for you that it will motivate you to start looking for ways of honing your sense of spirituality and your ability to reach other dimensions with your intuition. Really interesting this is. And this has to do with, this is the third week that puts you in a position of being very lucky on the job, and being very lucky with new beginnings, new job starts, new startups. The last week and the last week, the 7 or 8 days, the last 7 or 8 days of the month here, Gemini, I'm seeing very, very important are those, like I just said, and I keep stressing it, honing your intuitive skills. Why? Because there are both your male and your female sides that help you face the idea of security, help you, how can I put this to you? Your heightened awareness and your honed sense of intuition are going to aid you in matters of communication, both with males and females. When these have to do with significant others, you will be both surprised and you will have a heightened sense of security. Gemini, I hope that was of help. So now what are we going to do? What are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? So now I have this lovely, lovely, lovely deck. If I don't put on my glasses, I won't be able to see them. The Happy Tarot. And the Happy Tarot, I'm going to use, so that was for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This, I'm going to use 12 cards, pull 12 cards, and talk of each sign of the zodiac in relation to you during the month of May. I put out 12. Obviously, you may not have all of the signs represented by one of these cards. This is a general reading, so you take heed of those that pertain to you. Just leave the others aside. Okay, so let's start by laying these cards, and I'll show you them one by one after. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, you or another Gemini in your life. Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Aries, another Aries in your life, an Aries in your life, is the Seven of Swords. Is the Seven of Swords. Whoa, whoa. If you can stay away, stay away. They are they're electric. They're electric and they're angry and they're just so dissatisfied with themselves, not with you. But inevitably that will make you feel that it's aimed toward you. See if you could stay away from that. Then a Taurus in your life. I have the 10 of coins. Get that Taurus, put it in your pocket, and keep it for a rainy day. Keep that Taurus very close to you. This is a person full of life, full of light, and you can even just live off of their reflected light for how much they shine the month of May for you in relation to you. Then I have another Gemini or you yourself, and they're represented by the 7 of coins. Oop, the 7 of coins. Now, this is a person, if there is another Gemini in your life, this is a person who is eagerly trying to get something off the ground, eagerly working to make a name for themselves, eagerly trying to make you notice them and, you giving them feedback. And if it's you are yourself trying to get from A to B and then from B to C, but doing it with your own devices, and it's baby steps, but it is working, Gemini. Now we have a Cancer. The Cancer that's potentially in your life is represented by the Knight of Cups. How lovely this is. This Cancer is a person who's charging, they're charging toward you with good intentions, It's up to you, Gemini, to understand whether you can, adapt to that, or you just kindly say, I'm just busy, So beware and be ready for that. Then we have a Leo in your life potentially, and this is the King of Wands. The King of Wands, the Leo. It is a card that represents a fire sign, which is Leo. And this person is very, very creative, very passionate, very quick, very quick-witted. And if you need to bounce off ideas from someone, the Leo person is the one to do that with. And then we have a Virgo card. The Virgo card is represented by the Queen of Swords. Now, this Queen of Swords, as you can see, this deck is quite different from other decks. And this Queen of Swords is not the kind of person who gets up like the divorcee and walks away. No, this is a queen who is there, but who's regal and full of ideas. Here, too, you go to this Queen of Cups when you need to this Virgo person, could be a male as well, to this Virgo person when you are in need to explain and talk about, to get feedback. Then we have the Libra person, and the Libra person is represented by the Ace of Coins. I love that card, and I always say keep it close, keep that Libra person close, because they are a joy. They are a joy and they are pure light, similar to that 10 that we saw before, and the 10 of that Taurus person. This is a person who will reflect positively on you, and who will allow you to show and see the light. Then we have the Scorpio card, and the Scorpio card is the 4 of Swords. And what do they mean? They mean, look, stop rushing around. They will tell you, the Scorpio person, Gemini, they'll say, stop rushing around, forget the deadlines, because life is what it is. You can get it done in June, in May, in the next May. They'll tell you, don't rush, because it's important for you to be aware in the present. And then we have this Sagittarius card, and the Sagittarius card is represented by the Ace of Cups. How lovely, how lovely, how lovely. This could be a Sagittarian who comes into your life. This could be a person who you meet, a new Sagittarian, a new love potential here. Then we have the Capricorn card that represents Capricorn, and this is the Page of Cups. This is a Page of Cups. I see this as a younger person in relation to you, a younger person at heart, and here too, a person who brings love to you. You have the possibility here to, if you wanted to pick, you have options, let's say. You have options in love. And then we have the Aquarius card. The Aquarius card is represented by the moon. The moon, the Aquarian here is going to be a person who's very enigmatic, very secretive, a person who doesn't show all of their hands, they don't tip their hands. Then we have the last, the Piscean card. The Piscean card here is represented by Pisces, the Ten of Wands. This poor Piscean that this poor Pisces in the month of April and in the month of May, Gemini are people who are who have to stop and take a breath. They have had a rough 24 hours. That's an expression. They've had a rough month and they are having a rough month. So just bear that in mind when you interact with them. Gemini, I do hope that this was of help to you. And like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate that. Namaste. Gemini, until we read together again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming in to write to you. Bye-bye, and I'll read all of your messages now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.